Hello everyone, Sonal from USA, and today I'm here with very interesting person who is Googler, Google employee. Most of the times I have seen people come here for masters. That is the kind of a dream for everyone to come here for masters after engineering and then join one of your dream company. Once you get into the big five universities which are highly ranked. This is a unique journey of a person who came from Gujarat. He did his engineering from Gujarat. After working here for a few years, now he had joined Google and is a proud Google employee. So let's meet Gunjan Talsania. Gunjan, over to you. Can you please introduce yourself for the viewers and tell something about yourself, about your education experience, and we'll go step by step through your journey. So I'm very excited to have you on my channel.
Hey Sonal, thank you for having me here. Hello everyone. As Sonal said, my name is Gunjan Talsania. I am from Ahmedabad, Gujarat originally. I did my bachelor's from Gujarat on North Gujarat University for engineering, electronics and communication engineering. Later, I wanted to do master's or PhD or something, but I realized that that may not be the best option based on the situation at that time. So I joined a company called eInfochips as an embedded engineer because I was an electronics engineer. So embedded and DSP and audio video, those sounded very interesting at that time. So I joined that company, worked there for 5 years, learned a lot there. And then I moved on site for InfoChips. I was working in Iowa in a company called Rockwell Collins.
Wow. Okay.
I was responsible for creating audio and video drivers there for flight cockpits. And then I thought to change a career and do something more interesting or maybe more challenging. So I joined Panasonic through i8 and later on actually in Panasonic I worked for 9 years, initially as an audio engineer, senior engineer, and then progressed to team lead and then project lead. Later on, last 5 years or 4 years of that Panasonic journey, I was an engineering manager. So I saw kind of each state of kind of a development or leadership steps. Started from the engineer and the lead and then engineering manager. Again, it was a fantastic company and fantastic experience working at Panasonic. And then about a year ago, thought to come out of comfort zone and do something different. Then I joined Google as a senior technical program manager.
Okay, so let me interrupt. How did Google happen to you? So were you actively looking for a job and then you applied to Google, or somebody reached out from Google recruiting team to you, looking at your experience? And you mentioned something about Panasonic. Where was that office? Just for the viewers, if you can give more.
Yes, so the Panasonic office is in Greater Atlanta area, city called Peachtree City, which is kind of above of Atlanta. And at that time at Panasonic, the life was going pretty good. I was learning and growing, but then I was passively looking something. I was trying to keep my LinkedIn profile always up to date and checking out if something is there, but I was not kind of regularly applying anywhere.
Okay.
And suddenly the Google recruiter, she reached out to me over the LinkedIn via a message that we have an opening and your experience looks pretty good and it is similar to what we are looking for. So then I thought, okay, let me just check what is the roles and responsibility and how can I prepare and try. So I gave a shot, prepared for a few months, and then this Google happened.
Wow. So what was your feeling when you saw the first time somebody approaching, on a LinkedIn from Google? What was your feeling? Share the feeling with us.
Couple of feelings. One way it was kind of a good feeling that yes, whatever experience I have that matches at a company which is kind of a pretty good and famous company. Plus, not only the name of the company, but the work at Google is very impactful. And so that's why it felt good that, okay, I have a good experience which matches somewhere. On the other side, I thought that, oh, you know what, it might be almost impossible, right, to join Google. Well, it is not, but initial thoughts were like that. I said, oh, should I try or not try? And one of the reason was that because from that 9 years, I didn't even prepare for interview. I was working at Panasonic, so I was kind of not prepared. So it was a mixed feeling, kind of excited and happy also, and a little bit kind of nervous that because I am not prepared well, what will happen. So that was the initial thought.
Okay. So when you got a call from Google and they said that are you interested? I'm sure you probably thought of preparing for the interview and everything. So can you just tell viewers like how did you prepare for the Google interview? What are the steps that you took?
Yes, so that's a good question. It is difficult to join this kind of company because the interview process is very challenging. I'll say it is not kind of impossible because normally we felt that, oh, it is impossible to join this company or that company. I think it is not like that. I think there is kind of three things you need. First of all, you should have a good experience or good understanding of what you are doing. At least you can prove what you have done, as well as you can answer that you can handle any situation. Second thing, you need to prepare well. Sometimes, as I said, in our day-to-day life, we don't read some things which are not being utilized. So we need to prepare that. And the third thing is like perform at the interview. Sometimes you know many things, but you cannot speak at the interview, then it will be very challenging.
Correct.
So I try to focus or divide my preparation in three parts. Like first, as I said, I try to kind of brainstorm myself, like with myself only, about my career, which project I worked on, what were failures, what were successes, what were the challenging things I did, something like that. I started writing down in a doc all the summary of my work and project, and then I try to make it concise so that I can give as an interview answer, as a normal STAR technique we talk about, like situation, action, and result. So short answer, but kind of a structured answer. I try to prepare for my experience only. So that is one of the major important thing I did, and that helped a lot.
Okay.
Second thing was on a technical part, because as I said, it was a technical job. I tried to go through the designs I made in all the projects. I kind of read through again, understood those parts. Some of the concepts I studied in engineering, I had to refresh those, like C++ language or some data structure. Because technical program manager does not require coding, so I did not focus more on coding.
Okay.
But it is more about the design and architecture and issue resolution, those kind of things I kind of refreshed. The third part was system design, which was kind of challenging because I did not work a lot on that. So I went on YouTube and saw some videos about system designs. I took some online course where I learned the system design. So this kind of three things I focused, and I did some mock interviews also with my friend or a couple of online resources.
Wow.
That was a major important part for the preparation.
Wow, that was a lot of preparation. So how much time you took to prepare yourself?
Probably about 3 months, 2 to 3 months. I could have done more because on an average people try to prepare for 5-6 months and then apply. As I said, for me it came suddenly. So I asked a recruiter, can I take few more weeks more for prepare? And she was very cooperative. So I took probably about a month for preparation for phone interview, and then about 2.5 months for the on-site interview preparation.
Wow, that's a lot. Thank you for sharing this. This is a lot of work that I see that has gone behind for the preparation of the interview.
That's true.
Okay, so that's interesting. You spent quite a bit amount of time for preparing this entire interview process, and now that you've gone through process, and I'm sure now it's 1 year, but probably it is still fresh in your mind. Can you take us to how is the recruiting process of Google? I'm pretty sure it's quite intense, and viewers would be interested to knowing what is the process of the Google recruiting.
Yes, it is little bit lengthy process and little unique for some steps. Initially, it is a HR screening call where some of the recruiter or HR calls you and try to get an idea about your career, and then he or she explains what is the role. And later, that recruiter decides that okay, if that person or that candidate is a good match for this role or not. That is a first step. Normally, that is a quite easy or smooth step, to be frank, because they don't reach out unless they initially feel that you are a match. But still, when there is a screening call, they ask you a question. It is not just only a career. They ask probably a couple of high-level questions to understand that whatever you have put on your resume, it is truth or not. As example, okay, tell me the best project you worked on, and then when you answer, that recruiter try to check on, oh, does it match your resume or not, or are you able to answer properly or not. So there is a initial screening, not very difficult, but still there is a first step from recruiter. After that goes well, recruiter shares the resume with few hiring managers within Google that okay, we have this kind of person with this experience and you are looking for this kind of positions. Do you think so this is a good match? So some of the hiring manager, if they give a green signal, then this recruiter sets up the first phone interview. That will be one of the hiring manager. That phone interview is good. It is not kind of wide. Sorry, it is not kind of a deep. Deep means they will ask you a question, but not will go into too much deep. They'll try to ask you question, probably to 1 or 2 level, and then jump to the next topic or the next topic. So it will be like kind of multiple topic, try to cover 4 or 5 questions from each area. And if that interview goes well, if that hiring manager gives that, okay, we want to move ahead with this candidate, then the person moves to the on-site interview, which is kind of little challenging again, because there are back-to-back 5 interviews of kind of 1 hour each.
Wow, right on now, the same day.
On the same day, that is correct.
Okay.
So for my interview...
Sorry to interrupt, but I wanted to understand. You said that a recruiter shares your resume with hiring managers. So one of the hiring manager, for example, picked up. So it would be typically for the same group that you would be recruited, or it is any hiring manager who takes interview, or it is because he has an opportunity in his group and that's why he is, interviewing you?
So that is a very good question. So in Google, it is completely different than most of the other companies. So as example, there is a opening initially for Android team. An Android hiring manager gave a green signal and took the phone interview. That does not mean that you will be joining their exact same team.
Okay.
Because the interview time is so long, comparatively, I'll say long. By the time that candidate finalized, there'll be some more candidates available to join, and that they join there. But at least the recruiter has a reference there. I'll come back to the point later about team match. It is also a unique thing at the kind of end of the interview process. So, but your question is, as I said, pretty good, that it does not guarantee that that candidate will be joining to that same hiring manager.
Okay.
Yeah. And then second part, on-site interview also. On-site interview is very centralized. It doesn't matter which team you are going. So there are a pool of interviewers. A recruiter will choose from the different interviewers. So their interviewer might be from Cloud, or it might be from Gmail, or it might be from Waymo probably, right? Even though you are joining Android team. So the on-site interview also might be taken by any random interviewer from the company.
Wow.
So the on-site interview, normally I was in Atlanta. They ask you to fly to the California office. My position was in California. So, but wherever the position is, they ask you to fly there if you are not in the same city, and there will be back-to-back 5 1-hour interview on the same day. Because of COVID right now, it is online, everything virtual, and sometimes they divide also to 2 days, like 2 days today and two interviews today or 3 tomorrow, something like that.
Okay. But for you, it was on-site interview, right?
For me, yes, it was on-site, and as I said, back-to-back, there were 2 interviews in the morning, back-to-back, then 1 hour lunch break, and then again 3 interviews back-to-back.
Wow, so that must be quite stressful, right?
Yes, it is stressful. That is correct. That is stressful. As I said, it is not only your interview skill testing, it is your mental strength
Mentors.
testing also. That,
Absolutely.
yeah. So,
Okay, so after your first interview, where hiring manager cleared saying, he can go for the next round, and between this stress kind of an interview, which is like back to back 5 interviews, on-site interviews, how much time you get for the preparation again?
so normally on an average, they say 2 to 4 weeks are the good time.
Okay.
So people take about 3 to 4 weeks time because you need to give the date to them. They say the recruiter comes back and say, oh, you know what? There's a good news. Clear the phone interview. Now you have to go to on-site. Can you tell me when you are available? So I asked the recruiter how much time normally you try to give, and she suggested probably you can take somewhere 3 to 4 weeks.
Okay.
And I frankly told her that, you know what? Actually, I had a vacation plan after like 4 weeks. I already had my flights and hotel booked like around that time. So I told recruiter, you know what? I'm out for entire 1 week on the fourth week. Plus, I have not prepared for long. So is it possible to give me a little bit more time so I can prepare and perform at my best? And she was very open and helpful. She suggested, okay, I can give you extension. Let me know how much time do you need. So I said probably about 6-7 weeks should be okay. So I chose a date which was about kind of 7 week, and as I said, 1 week I was out. So I prepared for about 5 to 6 weeks around that time, and then appeared for the on-site interview.
Wow. So tell us more about your on-site interviews now. And how did you
Yeah.
prepare for it? Like, you mentioned you have gone to all the case studies and you did mock interviews, etc. If you did any additional preparation during these 5 weeks beyond what you expressed?
As I said, I mostly cover most of the part.
Okay.
I try to talk. As I said, one thing I did is took the mock interviews. As I said, one of my friend was also helpful. He went through some interviews, so I asked him that can you help me to take mock interviews. So he took the interviews, and then it went well. He gave me a good feedback. There are a couple of online tools available. There are free options and there are some paid option. One of them I remember I took was like Prepfully, which was good. And then second one I don't remember the name right now, but that also helped at least because you gave 2 or 3 interviews like that, you get a real feedback that, oh, you know what, you did this thing well and this needs an improvement. So I spent a little bit more time on improving that area.
Okay.
So that was
Okay.
helpful.
So
And
these are what
second point-
professional, sorry to interrupt. These are what professional services like Prepful or something?
Oh, Prepfully, yes, that is a professional service, and
Okay.
there was second one, interviewing or something. Yeah, so you pay them, and then they have a real Google or Apple or Amazon or wherever you're applying. Their interview is there. They will
Wow.
keep their identity kind of hidden, but they will come and they'll really take a good interview and they'll give you a real-time feedback. And the questions will be kind of similar to what they ask in the interview. So that was also kind of helpful. There are some free options available and there are some paid options too.
Wow, that's quite a lot preparation. You really deep dive
Yes.
to get the crux of the interview and get ready.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I'm excited. You're already on site, and tell me how was the on-site interview process for you?
Yes. So on-site interview process is, as I said, very challenging and stressful. But what I try to do is like, don't do anything fancy the previous night because I already reached California. I was in hotel. Some people like to like spend entire night to prepare. I wanted to be more relaxed so that when I go to the interview, I'm more fresh and kind of full of energy, not sleepy or kind of stressed. Because I feel that more confident you are, that helps in the interview. So that was the first thing I did. And what I did, I just did some of the printout of whatever kind of answers I created. Answers means about my experience or a project. I kept like 3 or 4 printout. I just went through it just to refer those. On-site interview for senior technical program managers or any tech program manager, there are 5 different areas, one technical, one system design, one is kind of a googliness they call. It is kind of a, not a culture match, but they want to make sure that you are, you have a good googliness kind of thing so that you are a good fit at Google. There is a round for cognitive ability. So you are kind of a smart enough to take care of any situation. And there is a one round for leadership. So what I try to do during on-site interview, try to be real. If they ask me a question, whatever I knew, I try to give a kind of crisp but a really impactful answer, so that I can prove myself that I have really done that. And second thing, as I said, confidence matters. That, and you need to show passion. That's what I try to do. That, okay, you know what? If there's a problem, I'm passionate enough to solve that problem. So that also makes sense. That, okay, you are really interested in the role or the real issues. Not only you're coming for the company, you're coming here so that you can bring something for that company. You can utilize your experience and solve real problems. And in return, I also can learn and grow from my side. So proving that was one of the major things.
Wow. So all the 5 interviews are like technical interviews, are like, or they are like different interviews, focused around different areas?
So as I said, right now, all 5 are not technical. So one is a specific technical round where they'll ask about the system or designing or issue resolution. The second one was, I think, Googliness. Googliness, as I said, it is not a technical interview. That Googliness is kind of how you are fit to a company, right? If I give you some simple example, right, they may ask you that, okay, how did you handle this situation in your company, or how did you handle this situation in a company? It might be about the team bonding or working with your subcoordinates or manager or something like that. The third round was a general cognitive ability, which is kind of, I tell it as a kind of a layman term, as a smartness kind of thing. They will throw a real situation what they are facing, and they ask you to, how will you solve it? Or they'll throw you a project. Okay, this is a project. How will you plan and execute and manage it?
Wow. Okay.
The fourth round was, I think, the leadership. The leadership was, how would you handle, even though you are not a people manager or you don't have a reporting people, still leadership is not only leading people, it is leading the project. How will you lead the project?
Correct.
Kind of thing. If some issue happen right now, what will you do? And it will be kind of mix of the project situation, hypothetical exam situation, so it can be mix of those.
Okay.
And the fifth round was the system design, which is kind of a technical. How would you design some system? As example, they can ask you, how can you make a Gmail from the fresh? So these are the 5 different interviews, where 2 are kind of technical and 3 are program management or project management kind of thing.
Okay. So after finishing all the 5 interviews, what was your feeling? Did you
I
think,
was like, thank God it is ended.
but what was your gut feel? Did you think that, okay, now you're going to crack Google, or you still had like kind of a doubt, oh, I don't know whether I will be able to crack Google?
It's a good question. My 4 round went pretty well personally. The 1 round which was in technical, the half part was pretty good. The second half, for a couple of questions, I was kind of dicey. So I had probably 80 to 90% feeling that it will go well, to be frank. And then I had a doubt about the rest of the 10 to 15%.
Okay. So after those 5 rounds, then you go back and then again recruiters contact you. How does this happen?
That is correct. They normally try to contact you within 3 to 5 days. They contact you and they suggest that, okay, the good thing, your interviews were positive or there was any concern. So here the difference comes for Google compared to other companies. Normally, I know about Amazon or any other companies, Panasonic or any other companies I've worked on or I have friends. After this interview, they normally say, okay, you are selected or not selected. But here in Google, it is a little bit different. It is kind of 2 extra steps.
Okay.
The recruiter does not tell you that you are selected, because what happens, there is one more extra step called hiring committee. What they do, there is this 5 interview don't take the decision directly. They give their feedback.
Okay.
And your recruiter sends all the feedback of interviewer to hiring committee. Hiring committee, they check all the feedback and they take a decision you are selected or not selected.
Wow.
One of the major reason is they want to avoid any bias. That the hiring committee has not seen you. They, like the committee members, they don't know you are kind of male or female or race or color, anything. So they just want to see the feedback, and based on that they want to take a decision. So that is where Google has this extra step. What they check, okay, if most of the interviewers had said yes, they'll check what answers you give what were the question. Based on that, they take a decision that, okay, you are selected or not selected.
Okay.
So in my case, recruiter told me, oh, you know what, your feedback looks very positive. So it looks like you'll make it, but let me pass it to hiring committee and they will take a decision. So
Okay.
that adds up probably about a week time on there.
Wow, wow. This is a very interesting step. So now that you're insider, I just have a question. So all the interview panels are trained normally by Google, how to take interviews, because when somebody is translating their observations or a feedback into the paper, and where hiring committee is going to assess it, there has to be a kind of a same standard, right? So are they all kind of a trained? I'm pretty sure they are probably trained on all these aspects, how to capture the feedback and everything.
That is correct. Yeah, there is a very detailed training available, and there are kind of 5 different steps. So it is not only like a one training. There are multiple trainings. All interviewers are trained. Even after training, they don't put you in the interview panel. There are shadow interviews. So as example, if someone is trained, that person will take an interview with a senior kind of interviewer. And that shadow interviewer has to complete all the processes, and then they check that, oh, you know what, your shadow interview was good, so now you're qualified to take the phone interviews right now.
Wow.
After they take multiple phone interviews, then they qualify for the on-site interview.
Wow. Okay.
And after there is some number of experience you have done all those, then only you can be trained for hiring committee, and then that person can be hiring committee. So you covered a good point. Yes, these all interviews are trained. There is a refresher, like not only that if someone has taken a training, they can take interview forever. Every year there is an additional refresher training.
Wow.
So that they know about the new laws, new rules, new expectations. There is a good detailed process for that too.
Wow, that's really good to know. I mean, it's a very process oriented organization. I've heard about it, but now it's like first hand experience hearing it. But thank you for sharing. This is a very good, insight about the Google. Now that you're working with Google, share some experience, because it's like a dream company for most of the people to work in Google. So how was the Google campus and experience working with all the different group of people? Share some more insight. How did you feel after working through so many companies and working in Google? How was it different for you?
No, that's true. Yeah, it is a very good experience. Fortunately, I had a good experience with my all previous company, but again, Google is a little different. It is a good experience. One of the major thing what I feel is the impact of the work I do. I'm working in the Android team and working on some of the distribution of some of the app. After my work is done, if I release some of the releases, it goes to 1 billion plus devices, or 1.5 billion people uses what I release, right? So that is one of the major satisfaction what I get, that the work I do is very impactful and touching literally almost half of the world.
Wow.
And it is going pretty good. So that is a major thing what I like, that the impact I make. Other thing about Google I love is like people and the culture. There are really brilliant people here. There are so many nice tools for doing anything. The documentation, the inside, the source or the knowledge available inside or within a company is pretty valuable. And culture is pretty good. The work-life balance is good. You can have like up to 20% extra time or of your regular time for doing something what you want. Like if I have a passion, or if I want to innovate something, I want to work on side project, can keep 20% doing that.
Wow.
And I can do 80% only of my job. And that is a pretty good. And many of the Google products came from that 20% side projects. Some people thought, oh, you know what, let me do something extra on my time. And they did it. They showed it to management. It was pretty good. And then it became a very famous project. So that is also one of the kind of a different and unique thing here in the Google.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I've heard this for the first time, and it's like you're
Yes.
pursuing your passion and then you innovate. So it's a time for innovation. At the same time, you're taking a break from your regular work and you're innovating
That is
something
correct.
new. So when you started, did you feel like pressurized, working with so many Googlers along, or how was your transition, within first month?
So I'll say it was kind of not pressurized, but obviously you get little nervous. The reason is like you need to learn a lot thing, right? The good thing I was working with Panasonic. I worked there for 9 years. So I know people, I knew tools, I knew processes, I know how things are done. So the challenge when you join a new company and kind of a Google is that okay, you need to start from fresh. Even though wherever you are, where in your career, this is the first day or a new life here.
Correct.
So it was one of the challenging thing that okay, knowing the right people, knowing the right process, the tools. So I was kind of, I'll say, a little bit nervous, but it was okay because I had a good experience working with multiple teams previously also. So it went well. One challenge was there in my case, it was this Corona situation. Because I joined the initial 3 weeks were training and I joined my team. Within 1 week, we moved to work from home situation, right? So
sad.
that was a major challenge because if I'm in office, if I have a question for anything, I can just turn around and ask my colleague or my manager.
Correct.
But now, because we moved to work from home, that onboarding and knowing about the project and team, that was a little bit challenge. But luckily, we have internet and good tools, so
Okay.
I could cope up.
Okay. Yeah, I understand. But there's a personal rapport, right? When you sit around, you talk with those people, you make a different rapport building, which is difficult to internet and to whatever messenger you're using, maybe Google or something. But yeah. And I've heard a lot of cool things about the campus. So share something more about the cool things which you see in the campus, and really you get so much time to enjoy them. I have heard that there is a campus. You can share play. Table tennis, and there are a lot of cafeterias, right? So share something more about that.
Yeah, probably we need to set up a separate call for that.
Really?
Part.
Okay, I don't mind if you're
I'm
okay.
just kidding. I'm just kidding. Yes. That is one of the again unique thing about the Google that they have a really good perks. Actually, many of the other companies also started doing this. So, but yes, one of the major thing is the food. That is one of the famous thing. There are so many cafeterias and they call restaurant. Like in my building around, I can choose probably anyone out of 7 within just like walking distance.
Wow.
And there is a free, and then everything is free, like breakfast, lunch, dinner, plus there are kind of a micro kitchen where there is a food for 24 hours.
Wow.
And the good thing is I can take my family or friends any number of times for breakfast, lunch, dinner to the office. So like sometimes on Friday I can take my family there and they can enjoy the meal too.
Wow.
Right?
That's so cool.
That's a good thing. There are so many food trucks and events. So that is one of the good thing that there is kind of unlimited food available anytime there.
Okay.
Other thing about the campus is, yes, as you said, the offices are pretty good. In my, like where I sit, anyways, as I said, I just went to office for 4 weeks. Like just across my desk, there is a pool table and table tennis ping pong table there. There is a bowling alley and there are video games on the buildings inside the building itself.
Okay.
So this is a pretty good thing, and the good thing is like it is very open culture. It is not that you have to just keep working all the times. When I went to the office on my first day, I met my VP on the table tennis. Like he was playing table tennis and he said, "Oh hey Gunjan, how are you?" So it is not that it's just for show. Everyone goes and openly plays there. They do the work when they are working, but there is a good time to enjoy that too. And there are some other kind of perks or good things you might have heard about is like there's a doctor and physiotherapy and gym and swimming pool, everything in the campus. And the one thing which I like most is about the transportation also. I live probably 1.5 hours away from office and there were bus with Wi-Fi available so that the commute becomes easy, and the commute is kind of a work time. When I go on the bus, I can start working until I reach the office.
Wow. Okay. That reminded me of India. When we used to travel to the company, we used to have a transport, and then everybody used to, listen to music or something. But then because you're Wi-Fi enabled, you can actually start working. That's like an advanced stage, right? So with so many...
And there are good... There are good Google cycles also. They call G-Bike. So if I want to go from one building to other building, there are so many cycles there. They call G-Bike.
Wow.
Which is also pretty good.
Okay. So how big is the campus? It must be a huge campus, right?
Yeah, it's a huge campus. So it is not like like only one campus, only Google buildings are there, at
Uh-huh.
least in California.
Uh-huh.
It is a city Mountain View, and most of the buildings are Google, but there are in between maybe other companies, one building, or there can be a restaurant.
Okay.
So it is a area, huge area where there are multiple Google's buildings.
Okay, and then you can use your G bike and
G-Bike to
ride
go from
around
one
and
place
do
to
that.
another.
And with so many facilities, do you really get a time, from work to enjoy those facilities? Like you said, there's a table tennis, swimming pool, and gym and all that. And it's like a flexible work,
Yes,
you can work your schedule and then you can take time and do all those things.
that is correct. Yes, I heard that most of the people get the time. As I said, I didn't work much.
Much,
I only
right.
went there for 4 weeks. But yes, like just to give an example, I have friends who reach office at 8 o'clock, 8 to 8:30 or 8:45. They'll just either play something or go to gym, then do a breakfast. 9 o'clock, just come back to work, and then in the evening you can do something before you go home.
Mm-hmm.
So it depends. Everyone has a different schedule. So, but I think most of the people can able to take out the time to enjoy these kind of perks or facilities.
Okay, okay. All right. So that's all a fun part about the Google. And I know work is also interesting, like you said. Now, the most interesting part that viewers would be interested in knowing is, the compensation and the salary. How much Google pays, typically, compared to the industry standards.
So it is very difficult to tell a number, right? Because it completely varies based on the city you are in, what position you are in, what like kind of level you are going into, or which role. As example, software engineer or maybe a program manager is completely different. Number of experience is also matters.
Right.
Normally, it is kind of little better than the companies I work, but there is a standard in California, so most of the companies try to pay around that level,
Salary range.
but it completely depends.
Okay.
My suggestion would be there are a couple of websites like levels.fi and Glassdoor. Those two kind of provide a really good estimate if you enter which city you are going, which role you are going, number of experience. Based on that, it gives a good number of options there. So that can be the better resource to check the salaries.
Okay, but for a starter, like for a fresher, I don't know if I'm just asking, but for a fresher, if they're starting, like people who come from MS and 1 or 2 years experience, if they start at Google, what level they would start?
It depends. It depends on the college also. It depends how the interview gone.
Okay.
The reason I'm telling you, I have heard that one software engineer who got like 200K as a starter salary, and there are some engineers who are kind of did some project in machine learning. They got 400K also. I'm just giving this is that huge variable. There are
Wow.
Stanford people,
Okay.
2 years experience, they have got like 700K also, and there are people with 25 years experience, they got like 250 also.
So it
So it
all
is
depends upon the
completely-
technology and experience.
Yeah,
and lot of
technology,
other
your
things.
experience, previous salary also. I've seen some people at lower level, but they came from Amazon or Apple, and their previous salary was high. So Google had to give a little bit higher than that, right? So there is kind of no fixed number. Even if I tell about PPGM or one level, that also completely varies. And the salary here compared to Seattle or Austin is also completely different.
Different, correct, because the location, cost of living would be
That
different.
is correct. So cost of living, location, experience, previous salary. So there are so many different criteria.
Okay.
So that's why there is no single number there.
Single number, yeah. Okay, but it definitely above the industry standards, and of course it has to be.
Kind of. But if you come to Bay Area, like the Amazon or Facebook or Apple or many other companies now towards a similar level, right?
Okay.
They do what Google also do. They just do a survey through many third-party companies where they check the average salary of each job opening or each level experience number, and they try to go and match to that standard. So here most of the companies are kind of almost similar. There are some companies who pays more than Google also. There are some companies who are kind of nearly same as Google.
Okay, okay. So thank you for this insight. Thank you for sharing this, salary insight. Most of the people are very much interested in knowing, how much Google pay, and I'm pretty sure it depends on the city, country, and the levels that you're working, technology, it would vary. But thank you for giving that insight. Now that I know that you just went for 4 weeks, but did you ever get a chance to, meet your CEO anytime?
No, I could not
No?
actually. I had a chance. So we have a monthly TGIF, where the internal meeting, where the kind of a all hands meeting, where I can go, and normally CEO Sundar will be there presenting it. But somehow I had some other important meeting I needed to attend. So I could not go and meet the CEO or see the CEO, not meet.
Not meet him. Okay, but I'm sure once the office will start, you will probably get a chance to meet him. So when it's going to get started, like a regular, is as if now it's all remote, right?
So right now it is all remote. Recently, last week they declared they will start some of the pilot in office work, where they will call some team for a few days with limited capacity. Probably they didn't give the number, but maybe probably 20% and then 50% and like that. But it is optional right now. Anyone can work from home till September 1st. Before September 1st, as I said, it will be optional. If someone wants to go for a few days, that will be allowed.
Okay.
I'm just saying that probably there is a possibility, but from September 1, it will be mostly we may need to go there.
Okay. Kind of hybrid model.
Kind of hybrid model. Again, it is not decided. This is
understood.
This is kind of pilots going on, so they will see how things are going, what is the vaccination situation,
and
what is everyone's personal choice or project needs. Based on that, there will be some decision.
Okay. Gunjan, I remember you mentioned something about the team match, where you have a committee. Hiring process is very different, 5 interviews, and then hiring committee would decide if the right candidate. So after that, what happens? How do you get, matched to a different teams?
Yes, that is also a good question. Google is different compared to other companies there. Here, Google gives a chance to the candidate to choose the team.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yes.
That is so interesting.
So what happens if a hiring committee says that, okay, you are selected, then what recruiters comes and tells you, what, good news. Now you are selected or you have just cleared the interviews. Now we'll be doing the team match. So what happens? Recruiter shares the candidate's resume to different hiring managers. So recruiters say, oh, you know what? Right now, let me check which are the openings. So there can be 4 openings or 5 openings for TPM. Then the recruiter sends the resume to all those hiring managers. Assume that 2 hiring managers like the resume. Then there will be a one-on-one call between the candidate and the hiring manager. And it is not an interview.
Okay.
It is just a discussion about each other.
Okay.
So as example, in my hiring committee, what happened, I just explained myself for 15 to 20 minutes, that just kind of a little bit detailed explanation that what technology I worked on, what project I worked on, what I am. And then the hiring manager also tries to explain about the team, what that team is doing, what is their culture, what are their kind of roles and responsibility, or maybe a roadmap, what they want to do after 5 years. And then if both of you like each other, then only you go and join that team. So I can tell, oh, you know what? This does not sound interesting.
Oh.
Can you team match with other team?
Wow.
Right? So then you talk to 2 hiring managers and you like this hiring manager and that team better. You choose, oh, you know what? I want to join this team. So that is unique, as I said, in Google. And then you choose that team, and then the salary negotiation goes. And then if you have a visa, for me it was a visa case. So visa preparation went ahead, and then you get a final offer later.
Wow, this is really unique. This is first time I'm hearing that, as a candidate, you get an opportunity to choose your manager. That is so cool.
That is correct.
So I know that you worked in the consulting firm before, where there is a concept that you always worked on a billable projects. If you're not billable, you're on a float. So Google is a product-based company. If you're not working, what do you do?
Probably there are pretty less cases, but what may happen here differently, if it is a product-based company, there is a product you are working on, or there can be a research. So what they try to do is kind of put you in a research project, or there are some internal projects going on.
Okay.
I don't have much idea because I've not worked that long or that kind of project here, but mostly what happens, you are working on either of this kind of thing.
Okay.
Right? And sometimes it is not a product, sometimes can be internal thing. As example, there are teams who develop the tools, or they develop the documentation. So there can be a different thing people can do. And one more interesting thing about the Google is the changing the team is pretty easy. Okay. As example, if I join the Android team right now, after a year, if I think that I want to go and join the automotive team or I want to join Gmail team, it is pretty easy. I can go and check if there's an opening and there's a call between you and the hiring manager. And then if everything works out, you just switch to that company. So that is also you can do after a year.
Wow, that is so cool. So you just inform your manager that you're looking out for a new role, and then you look out new opportunities within the company, and that's what it happens. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes. So
Okay.
you just, and you can talk to your manager a little late first. You can check if you find something, then yes, you just tell your manager so that the manager is aware and can plan the ramp down or something.
Wow.
But majorly it is kind of comparatively easier compared to what other companies I worked previously.
Correct. Yeah, I see that. It's a really cool process. I really like this. Yeah, a lot.
And you can prepare for any role. It is not that I'm TPM. I can go and become a software engineer also, or I can become a data analyst also.
Okay.
I just need to make sure that I can prove to that hiring manager that I can do that work, or I have done some studies, or I have some experience of that. Then you can join that team.
Wow, that is really cool. So a lot of flexibility basically within the company that you can move around, and if you are interested in new technology, probably you can learn and then join that team as well, right? That's really cool,
Exactly.
right? That's really cool. So
Yes.
if you develop interest in something else, you can tomorrow think about it and you can get there. Wow, that's
Yeah.
awesome. That's really cool. All right, so Gunjan, I wanted to check with you. You know, you mentioned that you also wanted to do your masters. In the beginning of the podcast, and you could not do it. So there are many aspirants who wants to come here, and the path they want to choose is masters, but they can't afford because the tuition fees are so high, and everybody is not in that economical situation to come here, and they feel that they are missing out on joining those dream companies. So you are an inspiration for them. Coming from Gujarat University, and now coming to your journey, joining Google and becoming Googler. It's an inspiring journey. So what is your advice or suggestions for those engineers who are looking forward to join dream companies in US, United States?
A very good point, Sonal. Yes, I was in exactly same boat. I wanted to do master, but the economical conditions and some other things, it was not possible for me also. So I thought, let me just join some company here in India. So there are many companies in India. As I said, if it is not possible, don't dishearten. There are really good opportunities in India also for doing masters or doing any job over there. But still, I know I also had a dream to come to USA, and many of you also will be in a similar situation. So I have probably few suggestions. Keep trying. If you think that it is not possible right now, try and do your best whatever you can do at that time. As example, join a company where you can go and give your 100%. Maybe if you really want to come to USA, maybe try to choose a company where there are on-site projects. You can probably join during your interview process, or maybe ask your friends who are working there, where you can join those kind of companies, work hard, kind of stand out among others, and then probably you'll get a chance to come on site. Or maybe join a multinational companies like maybe Google India, or maybe Amazon or Apple, whatever companies, they have a branch in India. We try to join there. Over there it is might be easier to move to the other branch where you don't change a job actually, but you are just changing the team or something like that, because that is another option. These two are the kind of a best option if the masters are not possible. Again, doing master is really good and it will give you good technical knowledge, but it is not mandatory. Most of these companies nowadays, they don't look for masters if you have a good experience. So that's why I suggest whatever company you join, try to build a good experience, do the real thing, give more than 100%, try to learn more, take more responsibilities. At the end, you will learn more, and that will make you kind of different from other colleagues, and then give you a better opportunity in your career. So probably that would be the better suggestion if you cannot do master right now.
Absolutely. And I think it's a myth. People think that unless you have a master's degree in United States, you cannot join these dream companies. I think the suggestions that you gave are really excellent, that they can join, in India or their home country, and then, stand out through their performance if they're really technically sound, and then they would eventually get a chance to come here. Because as an IT HR, I see there is so much of scarcity of, good technical people. so
Exactly.
definitely.
Exactly. Here in Google and many other companies, I have friends, it is difficult to get people. There are so many openings in many companies here, and finding a right talent is very challenging. So, as I said, give your best and then it will work out someday, very
Absolutely,
soon.
absolutely. That's a very good advice, and I'm sure people who are watching will get inspired by your journey, Gunjan. And thank you for joining my channel and sharing your journey, from Gujarat University, then E-Info Chips, then Panasonic, and now Googler. So that's a great achievement. If you look back, and I'm proud of you, that you joined Google. And really, really thank you for joining my channel. I really appreciate your time and the wealth of advice that you gave, and the processes and the journey that you shared, how you prepared, the transparency, everything. Thank you so much. It really means a lot to me, and of course to your viewers, that giving so much insight about Google. You have any closing comments, Gunjan?
Thanks a lot for having me. Yes, happy to help. And as I said to all the viewers, don't worry. Whatever you can do or whatever is in your hand, please try to do best. Joining any company is not a one-day event or one-week event. It is kind of a journey. It is kind of a marathon. So whatever you do, if you do it right way for a few years, that will help you down the line. So give your best, be confident, and that's all.
And thank you for sharing your experience and inspiring others to share their experience. So I would encourage all others also, if they have unique journey like you, they can come and share that experience with others. Well, thank you so much, Gunjan, and see you again sometime. Bye bye.
Perfect. Thank you.
Bye
Have a
bye.
good day.
Yeah, thanks.